And did I mention, Eleanor, dear, that the wedding was going to take place at St. Mark's?
Yes, Vera, dear, you did. Once or twice.
And that Kevin's, that's the groom's father, is a widower and lives in Kettering, and he hasn't quite decided whether to...
Catch the train or hire a car for the day. Yes, you did tell me that, dear. You also told me how thick the marzipan was going to be on the wedding cake, and how many vol au vents would have to be stuffed for the reception. In fact, I think the only thing you haven't told me about this wedding is precisely what you're going to wear.
Ah, well, we all have our secrets.
But, Vera, dear, if I don't know what you're wearing, there's the very real danger we may both turn up in the same ensemble.
Oh, I don't think so, Eleanor, dear. And even if we did, it wouldn't be a disaster. After all, we do wear clothes so differently.
That's certainly true.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you where my granddaughter Stephanie is having her wedding dress made?
Yes, you did, Vera, just the 3 times.
Oh, dear. Did I really? I'm afraid my memory isn't quite what it was.
No. And now I think you said you must be going.
I don't remember saying that.
No, dear, but then, as you said, your memory isn't what it was.
No.
So, goodbye, Vera, dear. Goodbye. And thank you so much for the wedding invitation.
We're delighted you'll be able to make it. Oh, and you will pass on those invitations to Sarah and Clare.
Of course.
Oh, and did I mention that my granddaughter Stephanie wanted to have the invitations printed on?
Yes, you did, dear. Good night, Vera, dear. Good night.
Come in, Mother.
Oh. Are you there, dear?
Well, since I said come in, Mother, and since you can see me, I think we can safely conclude that I am here, yes.
I haven't the energy for your sarcasm, Sarah. I've just had the most exhausting time with Vera polling.
Oh, dear, glass of wine.
Please. Honestly, since Vera went into that eventide hole with Sycamore, she's become incredibly selfish. Completely monopolized the conversation. I could hardly get a word in.
That must have been dreadful for you, Mother.
Yes, it was. No, it's really rather sad to see when old people get completely selfish. It's a danger I've always been very aware of.
Oh, yes.
Vera was just going on and on about her granddaughter. You know, Stephanie.
I think I've heard the name.
Well, anyway, Stephanie is getting married.
Oh.
And goodness me, to hear Vera go on about it, you'd think nobody had ever got married before in the history of the world. She can't talk about anything else.
What do you mean?
Quite unstoppable. She didn't ask anything about me. All I got was more and more tedious details about this wedding. I mean, is it of any interest to anyone that the organist at St. Mark's is holding out for the Mendelssohn Wedding March while Stephanie wants something by Andrew Rice Webber?
Lloyd.
What?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh. Well, it doesn't change my point. And then, the way she went on about the prospect of being a great-grandmother, dear, oh dear, you'd have thought that had never happened before in the history of the world either.
Good. Fine. Well, I think we've exhausted that topic of conversation now, don't you?
Oh, yes. Goodness, don't imagine I want to talk about it. Oh, and
What I was
all
going
the fuss about the wedding list. Stephanie, would you believe, is actually insisting on Harrods, even though
Mother.
Oh, yes. Sorry. And then when Vera got onto the subject of clothes and what she was going to wear for the ceremony, I thought she'd never stop.
Mother.
But Sarah, dear, at one stage, she was talking about wearing lilac. I mean, can you imagine? Lilac, with her complexion. It'd look like an accident in a paint shop.
Mother, you mustn't be so bitchy.
Mummy, have you got any cash I can borrow? I didn't have time to get to the bank.
I've got a bit. How much do you need?
Oh, 10 will do, just so as I've got something to flash when Roger starts paying the bill.
So can I have it back tomorrow?
Oh, sure, it's only money to be flashed. Roger will actually pay, he's loaded. No, it's my gesture towards feminism.
Fairly minimal gesture.
Yes, well, I'm a fairly minimal feminist.
Claire, do you know Vera Polling's granddaughter, Stephanie?
Yes, she's a member of the badminton club. We played each other in a tournament last year.
Oh. Well, I have some news about her.
Oh, what, you mean that she's getting married?
How did you know?
Well, everyone's known for ages.
For ages, but it's only just been announced. It's going to be a very short engagement.
Have to be. Don't want to have 3 of them at the ceremony, do they?
3?
Yes, Granny. She's in the club.
So you said you played her in the tournament.
Oh, never mind. Listen, I've got to go. Meeting Roger at 7.
Have a nice time.
Anyway, Clare, do you know that Stephanie's going to have her wedding list at Harrods?
Oh? Be more appropriate if it was at Mothercare.
Am I to understand from what Clare was hinting that Stephanie is having to get married?
Yes, Mother, I think that was the message.
Oh. So maybe Vera hasn't got quite so much to crow about after all. And I'm sure she thinks I don't know. I shall just drop it into the conversation very casually. That'll take the self-satisfied smirk off her face.
May not.
What do you mean?
Well, at least it means that Vera's going to get her great-grandchild, doesn't it? And quite soon.
Oh, yes. This Roger that Clare's going round with, do you think there's a chance of anything serious coming of that?
So Eleanor's got dynastic ambitions now.
I don't think Mother's actually given Clare her breeding instructions yet. I think it's only a matter of time before she does, though. Mother's extremely interested in the latest boyfriend, Roger. He's very rich for a start, which is a good thing in her book.
So you think subtle hints about matrimony will soon begin to be dropped?
Subtle? Oh, come on, Russell. We're talking about my mother, a person with all the subtlety of Attila the Hun. Talk of the devil.
What? Do remind me, who's the lesser devil?
Valerie Brown on the pension
counter's
sister
sister
Mary.
That's
Key figure in Mother's espionage network. A mole.
yes, that's exactly what she looks like.
Oh, no, I can't cope with more analysis of Clare's marriage prospects. There's something frightfully important I've got to check in the stockroom.
Oh, yes.
Sarah not here?
No, she had to pop out just for...
Good. Now listen, Russell. If you see this person going into the hat shop opposite, I want you to find out what she buys and inform me immediately.
Can I ask, Eleanor, why you want me to do this?
Sorry, Russell. Need to know principle. Goodbye.
Now I know what it feels like to be a hitman for the mafia.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what all this might be about?
I think I can have a shrewd guess. That, Russell, is the famous Vera Poling.
Oh, yes, I know, I met her. Vera Poling of the Sycamores fame.
Exactly.
Grandmother of the famous Stephanie.
Yes, and mother of the equally famous Tricia.
Who is married to a merchant banker.
Very good, Russell. You could go on to mind.
Yes. My specialist subject is the life and one-upmanship of Vera Poling.
Good. You have 2 minutes on the life and one-upmanship of Vera Poling starting now. What is Vera Poling going to wear to her granddaughter Stephanie's wedding?
Pass.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
That is the one question to which nobody knows the answer. At least Mother doesn't know it. And you have now become part of the conspiracy to find out.
Me and Valerie Brown on the pension counter system.
Congratulations, Russell. You have just become a fully fledged member of the geriatric KGB.
Oh, thank you.
I wonder if he is serious.
Sorry?
This Roger of Clare's. She's out with him again tonight.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Well, surely you should know.
Why?
Well, I think it's a mother's duty to keep a maternal eye on her daughter's emotional entanglements. That's what I always try to do with you. You know, subtly, at a distance.
Subtly? At a distance?
Say what you like. I still don't think much got past me.
Don't you? Really? Remember that boy McFinney?
What, the one from the council estate with the errand boy haircut and the hammer toes?
Chiseled toes, Mother, but yes, that's the one.
And what about him?
Just that you didn't realize I went out with him.
What?
4 times.
When was this, Sarah?
Oh, for goodness sake, about 25 years ago.
But Sarah, McFinney's mother used to go shopping in her housecoat.
That is neither here nor there.
When did you do it? Was it on Tuesdays? I used to go out to cake icing classes on Tuesdays.
No, it wasn't on Tuesdays. It was... Look, it's not important.
And what did you get up to with him? Mick Finney had rather a reputation, as I remember. I hope you didn't do anything careless.
Mother, if I had done anything careless, it would now be grown up and probably have children of its own.
Yes. Yes, that's true. I'd be a great-grandmother.
Yes, you would.
Miss Roger of Clare's, do you think there's any likelihood of he and Clare doing anything careless?
No, Mother, I don't. Clare is far too sensible to get herself into trouble.
Oh. Yes, of course. Unlike Vera's granddaughter. Yes, I shall choose my moment to let her know I know about that.
Look, Mother, you must not... Shh, quiet, Sarah.
Goodness, they're back early.
Thanks for smashing dinner, Roger.
My pleasure.
I didn't know you could hear out into the street from down here.
Oh, yes, dear.
But you might have heard me. I mean, I might have come home late one night with somebody and might have been talking.
Oh, yes, dear.
Mother,
That is, unless you'd like to come up for coffee.
Claire,
Yes?
you know I'm pretty serious about you.
Yes, I do know that, Roger.
Well, very serious, in fact.
Yes?
Claire, will you marry me?
There. Wonderful.
Mother, we shouldn't be listening.
We can't stop now.
All right.
Roger,
Yes?
I'm sorry. The answer's no.
What?
Why, Claire?
Yes, for heaven's sake, why, Claire?
Because I do like you a lot. I don't love you.
Well, you might grow to love me.
Yes, of course you might, Claire. Oh, for heaven's sake, girl.
Mother, it is her decision.
No. Look, I don't want to get married for years and years.
Oh.
Listen, come up to the flat for a coffee. I'll explain what I mean.
Well,
Sorry, Mother. Another fantasy bites the dust. But if Claire doesn't think it's right, I'm afraid you're going to have to wait a bit longer for that great-grandchild. Night.
oh, I'm not so concerned about that.
No?
Of course not. A family wedding would be nice, though.
I think from what Claire said, you're going to have to wait a while for that, too.
Of course, it doesn't have to be Claire.
What? Oh, no. Oh, no. You may have noticed there isn't even the hint of a shadow of a boyfriend on my horizon.
No. I wonder what happened to that nice Mick Finney.
And is Claire still being groomed for matrimony?
No, Mother's gone off that tack a bit. Given Claire up as a bad job for the time being anyway, concentrating her firepower on me.
Oh, dear.
Yes, now she'll just settle for a wedding, any wedding. I think she'd drag in any man off the street who'd agree to marry me just so she could upstage Vera in lilac.
Ah, has this got anything to do with my surveillance of the hat shop?
You have it in one. Mother's got this new lilac number that she's very pleased with, but she isn't sure whether she can wear it to Vera's granddaughter Stephanie's wedding till she knows what Vera's wearing.
Well, she doesn't want them both to appear wearing the same.
Well, that's what most normal, civilized people would want to avoid, yes. But when she's competing with Vera Poling, Mother ceases to be a normal, civilized person.
What do you mean?
Well, I wouldn't put it past her to wear exactly the same as Vera deliberately.
Oh, surely even she wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I'm afraid there are no Marquis of Queensberry rules when those two get in the ring together.
Sounds terrifying. Anyway, how is Eleanor approaching her campaign to marry you on?
Try and make me get my act together. She thinks I should get out and meet more people, join things.
Anything?
No, any things where prospective husbands are likely to be floating around. She seems to think husbands are like those trout in tanks in a restaurant. You know, you have a look, indicate to the waiter which one you want, he dips in his net, and a quarter of an hour later it's delivered to your table in morning dress, garnished with almonds.
Oh, she'll get tired of her marriage obsession, just as she has with all her other obsessions.
Not until after Stephanie's wedding she won't. Ugh, I cringe at the thought. Mother trying to shove me in the path of every unattached man there. There's nothing like a wedding to start people thinking about other weddings, Sarah, dear.
Ah, I say, this could be it.
What?
The climax of the stakeout. Macquarie has approached the target. Ah, anyway, looks as though they're making it easy for me. Lilac it is, then.
Just hope Mother has the decency not to wear hers.
Of course, it could be an elaborate double bluff on Vera's part.
Oh, come on, she wouldn't realise the need for a double bluff. I can hardly see Valerie Brown on the pension counter's sister Mary tipping her off.
No, mind you, anything can happen in the world of counter-espionage. Agent 008 reporting. The code word is lilac.
Thank you, Russell.
Are you very upset, love, about finishing with Roger?
Yes, a bit. Sure. Still, he was getting a bit serious. Do you know he even proposed to me?
Yes, I know. I mean, did he really? Goodness.
Still, I don't want to get married too young.
Very wise.
No, I need to sort out who I am first before I inflict myself on anybody else. I'll miss him, though.
Yes. Still, plenty more fish in the sea.
Oh, sure. Not that many other fish with Porsches, though. Oh, well, can't have everything.
Nope. Good heavens, Mother. I thought Vera was wearing lilac.
What? Oh, no, she's changed her mind.
You sure?
I have the latest information from Valerie Brown on the pension counter, Sister Mary.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But if Vera was all set to wear lilac, what could have happened to make her change her mind?
I should think she just looked in the mirror.
Granny, that's an incredibly bitchy thing to say.
No, Clare, I'm just being realistic. All I'm saying is, if Vera wore lilac with a complexion like hers, she'd look like a rasher of streaky bacon. Now, there's nothing bitchy in that, is there?
Mother, are you absolutely sure that you're not planning to wear the same colour and upstage Vera on her big day?
What an idea, Sarah. Of course not. Your ensemble looks very nice, Clare.
Thank you, Granny.
What sort of a hat are you going to wear?
Beg your pardon?
Really, dear, you talk about me being deaf. It seems to me it's you young people who have the problem. I asked what sort of a hat you were going to wear.
Hat?
Yes, Clare, hat. You know, covering for the head. What sort of a hat are you going to wear?
I'm not going to wear a hat.
What?
I never wear hats.
But, Clare, this is a wedding we're talking about.
So?
Well, everybody wears a hat to a wedding. It's virtually part of the service.
Oh, come on, Mother. I don't think there's anything in the Book of Common Prayer that says you have to wear a hat to a wedding.
Isn't there? Oh, well, there should be. Now, come along, Sarah. Do go and get changed or we'll be late.
I am changed, Mother.
What? You mean that's what you're wearing for the wedding?
Yes. What's wrong with it?
Nothing. Nothing. I just always think it makes you look a bit,
A bit what?
a bit worthy.
Nothing wrong with worthiness, Mother.
Yes, but it makes you look, oh, I don't know, like a widow.
Well, I am a widow, Mother.
Yes, but it doesn't make you look, oh, what's the word?
Sexy?
Exactly, Clare.
But, Mother, who cares? This is a wedding, not a widow-swapping party. Who cares whether I look sexy or not?
You never know who might be there, Sarah, dear.
What do you mean? Who do you mean?
Mr. Wright, perhaps, Mummy?
Shut up, Claire.
Well, you never know. And there's nothing like a wedding for getting people to think about other weddings, Sarah, dear.
Eleanor, dear, I don't think you've met the groom's father. Lionel, Eleanor.
The last time I saw the bride, she was naked on the rug. And mind you, she was only 18 months old at the time. Anyway, it with the greatest pleasure, I ask you to raise your glasses and toast the bride and groom. And in the hope that, well, who knows, maybe we'll hear the patter of tiny feet in a year or two. The bride and groom.
The bride and groom.
Bride and groom.
Actually, you know, Claire, this is not nearly as bad as I feared.
No?
I was terrified Mother would spend the whole reception trying to marry me off.
Whereas, in fact, she has behaved perfectly.
Yes, I've hardly seen her since we left the church.
That's what I said, behaved perfectly.
Yes. And I think we can now confidently state that she has given up all idea of a family wedding.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure of that, Mummy.
What do you mean?
I think she might just be contemplating the ultimate way of upstaging Vera.
What?
Look.